Yeah, trendsetter. Whoa, league of my own, it don't get better. No, read what I wrote, I'm a bestseller. Yeah, reach for my goals, hit it dead center. Hit it dead center. Bullseye, hit it the most, there's no misses. Something like fish in a barrel, it's no dip.
Did you see your name fill in? I noticed
I was waiting.
You didn't even see your name. Did you see your name fill in?
Of course I did.
Okay.
Back-to-back titles on the podcast right here, Case.
What's all day on that?
Back-to-back titles. Happy New Year, everyone. Any New Year's resolutions?
Shave.
Nice. Look good. Case, you too.
Win fantasy football in 2025.
Mine's to repeat. Mine is to repeat. I'm repeating next year. Guys, we did it. We did it, Joe. We did it.
Either a pod member or a family member of a pod member has won the last 3 Super Bowls.
Yeah.
And you have to go back to 2018 to not have a pod presence in the Super Bowl.
Wow.
So you could probably say this is the most qualified people to have a fantasy football pod.
Yeah, I'd agree with that. And guess what, Case? If we're not, too bad.
Yeah, it's true.
How do you want to do it? I won. I'm the champ. So you guys tell me what you want me to say. I did a little research on if it was the biggest choke in the history of the league. Obviously it was. I can reflect on the season. I can reflect on the game. You guys can tell me what you thought. I'm lucky to win, but I won. So I'll take it.
No one cares about the season, Mike.
I have a question. Do you feel like this is your first real championship?
Yeah, it does. I realized tonight, my whole family is exhausted. I'm not even going to go into what we've been doing the last week and a half. The kids went to bed at like 7:30, and I'm like, I'm not going to bed, guys. I got a pod. And Evelyn, my 10-year-old, was like, are you going to talk about your championship? I'm like, yeah, I am. She goes, hey, Dad, you know what I realized? You've never won a fantasy title while I've been alive. And I'm like, well, geez.
What did that tell you?
So, yeah, it feels like my first title. But again, it's another one that in the history books is fraudulent.
How's it fraudulent?
I mean, Spades, I think this is, to me, the question is, will we remember in 5 years that I hadn't won in a while and it was good to get me off the schneid, or it was a gargantuan choke job and poor coaching by Spades? Like, what are we going to remember?
Well, I think if you were one of the few that missed last week's pod, because apparently it was the highest viewership of pods this month, we did say that something special was going to come out of this Super Bowl, or some storyline that we were going to talk about, because this was the year of bucking trends.
Great.
So,
you know what trend we didn't buck?
What?
Spades is a below average manager.
Well, I'll tell you one thing. My biggest takeaway, if you look at the guys that were in the finals, okay, yeah. Mike and CJ both made a couple of moves during the course of the entire year to get themselves there. So there's something to be taken from that. I didn't make any moves despite my best efforts to try to freaking sell and found a way into the playoffs. Lloyd didn't and fell short. He actually came in 4th place for all our viewers. He was the blowout of the week in the games that mattered this past week. And then the second takeaway is there's a difference between accumulating talent and then managing a roster. And that's what I think played out in this Super Bowl. My 2 takeaways.
All right. Wow. That's a hell of a takeaway. Mike, how'd you do bowling?
Pete, I missed Saturday night and all day Sunday.
Why? Well, why can't you sit down and watch football games?
I don't want to go into it. So I spoke to Spates on Saturday, and we FaceTimed. It was cordial. We were congratulatory. We were a little competitive, a little trash talk. I don't quite understand how Christian couldn't follow the idea, but
explain what the circumstances were. Was CJ sitting, standing?
He was out back. Picking up his dog's poop in his backyard, showing me the river. So the reason I bring this up, obviously the move that he made that cost him his season.
What's up, boys?
He's skating. I really thought it was Spates. I thought
Spates Aridis. It was Spates Aridis.
You knew that.
That would have been awesome.
I knew that's what you thought it was going to be.
I was just talking about space, Steve. That's why.
Steve, are you upset about your cat?
Yes. Thanks for bringing that up.
Were you upset at me the next day? I thought that was a good joke.
I don't even remember what you
All
said.
right, good.
Okay, good. All right, good. He doesn't care. Yeah.
I had
All
the
right.
I had the entire team on the ice, and they were going to say something about the chosen ones, and I couldn't get on because the Wi-Fi here is terrible. It is no service.
There's only service at center ice, and that's why you're standing in the middle of the rink.
No, I'm on the far side of the ice right now on the rink, and that's the only place that's got
Skating
service.
around.
You're a good skater. I didn't realize.
Yeah.
This.
Yeah.
Imagine
I
if he
helped
wipes
coach.
out right now. If he wipes out, I would
I'm
absolutely.
done.
Yeah,
Steve, did you play hockey in high school?
no, I did not.
Why?
I
we told
quit
you,
to
third
play.
season.
I quit to play football when we were in middle school because they both interfered.
Oh,
And obviously, the more athletic piece of this is indoor track and field, which I believe Steve competed in.
That was 1 year. That was 1 year.
I think it's a winter sport. I don't know if that's Steve.
It's a
Welcome,
winter sport.
Steve. Thanks for the congratulations. So what I was saying, I was talking about my conversation with Spates on Saturday.
Wait, hold on. Steve has a congratulatory message for you. Oh no, that was it that the kids were gonna do.
No. Can you give me hold on? I'll be right back. I'm gonna get him.
Yeah, kick him off. All right, so I talked to Spade Saturday. I think so. He was like, dude, I don't know what to do with Neighbors. Neighbors is hurt. And I was like, dude, you do what you're gonna do. I was like, I don't know if I would trust a guy who may not play with Drew Lock. And so Saturday, Neighbors was in. If Higgins hadn't gone crazy on Saturday night, I could actually see the logic in playing Brian Robinson. Like, get me to a floor, potential, but like, all right, here we go.
I'm not going in the locker room right now. There's like 5 kids that are like half dressed.
All right.
We're not doing that right now.
I thought you love the locker room, Steve. It's well documented. You love the locker room.
His motions in the green room were not good. He was going.
We like
"It's
the
not
locker room when
happening."
we were in high school. We don't like the locker room when there's 10, 11-year-old kids that are half dressed. I don't think that's a good thing to
don't do
post
that.
on the
Good
internet.
call. Good call.
All right, Steve. Nice seeing you.
Yeah, keep
Okay,
those
boys.
pictures to yourself.
Michael, congratulations.
Thanks.
Nice.
Hey guys, I can't take videos, only pictures.
He was panicking trying to get to the locker room. I was like, "What are you doing?"
Don't do it. But he made a big boo boo. Spates made it terrible. Once I had 170. Like, I had a big night from Higgins. I had a big night from Kyler. You can't go away from your stars when you know you need points. And he choked.
I mean, Monday morning quarterback, hindsight's 2020, but I just don't understand the logic.
Me neither.
It's not, and fine, not Neighbors because he's hurt all week and all this stuff. Devontae Smith is still a way better player than the other guys, and I looked at it again before we jumped on. Like, if you look at the last couple weeks out of Robinson and Charbonnet, they're nothing. They're 15 points or less outside of one blip by Charbonnet.
Charbonnet had Walker the last couple weeks. Charbonnet, the play I didn't mind. I didn't mind the Charbonnet play.
He had one good week.
I know. It was against me.
A 45-pointer. Other than that, it's been 15 or less. So, I mean, I think you just got to go with your big guns. It's the Super Bowl, you know?
So I looked, guys, and we have had this scoring system. By the way, 11 years of the scoring system of the positionless football.
Hell yeah.
So the last 11 years, I looked at the Super Bowl loser and how many points they had on their bench.
Oh God.
Spades had 216.
Oh boy, that's a lot.
He broke the record. This is a record that I didn't know happened. Brian Casey, you held the former record of best Super Bowl bench in 2020.
Oh, the Kamara Super Bowl.
You had 162 points on your bench.
I could
Wow,
use all
he
of them.
shattered that record.
I could use all of them.
If you took out those two outliers, you still would have lost that game, by the way. If you took out those two outliers,
That makes you feel better, actually.
the average points left on a Super Bowl loss bench is 62 points.
Wow.
And he left 216 points on his bench.
Holy cow. I mean, I have played in 7 Super Bowls. I've lost 4 of them. I'm sure somewhere along the lines I made bad roster decisions that cost me a Super Bowl. I was wondering how many other people did it. To know Brian Casey right there with me. Brian, does it hurt extra? Does it hurt extra knowing you had a Super Bowl loss out there that you could have won?
Well,
Wow.
no, Mike's would have lost either way. That was Alvin Kamara's 6th touchdown on Christmas Day.
I'm pretty sure I was one roster move away from beating Mike in 2010, making him another titleless team until this week. But
I didn't go back that far. Hold on. In 2010, Pete, I beat you by 13 points, 121 to 108.
definitely had somebody on my bench that I could have played.
Your kicker got you -3 points, David Bueller. I don't know what team he played on. And you left. No, you couldn't beat me. Tim Tebow, you left on your bench, and he scored one more point than Michael Vick.
Wow, Tim Tebow outscored Mike Vick. What a Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Hey, Mike, the 2020 Super Bowl. Just look at the roster quick. Guess who was on my bench that scored big that I left there?
I don't know.
T. Higgins.
T. Higgins.
He shows up in Super Bowls.
I really think what would be fun one day in our off-season pods is to go back to random years and go look at old rosters. Like, this Super Bowl was crazy.
You could also do could we do what's your all-time starting lineup and just see how many of players were on my all-time running back that was also Pete's all-time running back.
I like that.
For the years that they were with you, do we have any crossover there? Because there's been a couple guys, I'm sure Priest Holmes, Pete being one, Chris Johnson being another. They'd probably
how would you qualify? How would we qualify all time?
It probably require a lot of math and a lot of research.
It could be subjective. I can, if I had Kyler could be my quarterback if I want.
I think they'd have to be a prime player for you. I had Priest before he became Priest Holmes, and then
you couldn't have. I don't think you could have Priest.
Traded to Pete during lunch, and that was the first setback of my franchise way back when.
Who's your all-time quarterback?
Mine?
Both of you.
Tony Romo. Love it.
Honestly, mine was probably Deshaun Watson.
Oh, can't say that.
He was a fantasy stud, not too long ago.
Guess who mine is?
A lot more massage.
Guess who mine is?
I saw a list of a Yahoo let out an alert the other day. It was the most owned people on championship teams. There were 5 players that were listed on the most, championship teams. I looked at the rosters. These guys were rostered on the most of them. Guess how many of the 5 were on your team?
3.
4 out of the 5 were on Mike Lilly's team. They were T. Higgins, Chase Brown, James Conner, and Chuba Hubbard are on the most championship teams this year. The other one was that San Francisco running back, the backup that came.
Bordardo?
Yeah, whatever. Yeah.
Isn't it fun that Christian came on this pod a month ago and talked about how bad my team was and how I couldn't win anything with Chuba and James Conner, and then they led me to the finals, and then my stalwarts showed up, and it was just it is a nice cherry on the Sunday to have that be the last moment.
You mean consolation Christian?
Consolation Christian.
In his defense,
the guy only plays in the consolation game now. He thinks he's relevant.
He was tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of hearing about James Conner.
Dude, you're trash, man. You're trash.
So speaking of, Christian D'Addario not having a flattering opinion on you, you have had a very flattering opinion on CJ Spates. Does it make it extra special that you beat your boyfriend?
No.
Good recall, Pete.
No. It makes. I'll tell you 2 things that make it special. The one thing that makes it special.
Yeah. What point did you break up?
Dude, we haven't. I told you we had a very cordial conversation. It was a lovely. I feel like Spates and I are still locked in. He might not like me. He hasn't responded to any of my texts in the last couple of days. There's 2 things that I'm most.
I have confirmation that he's sick, and that he would not be making a guest appearance tonight. I called him a coward and then told him to feel better.
Yeah, what you thought? What email Mike Spates? I have Mike Spates' work email. I can get to him in 2 seconds.
Mike Spates would join in a second.
Dude, he would join in a second.
I love Mike Spates.
No, this is the first year I was very strategic about acquiring guys that had good playoff matchups. Chase Brown hit that bucket, Cortland Sutton hit that bucket, and Kyler hit that bucket. Those 3 guys, I purposely went out and said I'm going to get them towards the end of the season. Co-commissioner Pete, thank you.
Do you want to talk about the buddy system? How do you guys feel? I feel like you really can't win a Super Bowl unless you have somebody that's willing to trade with you a lot. My year, it was Steve DeVito. But I feel like, I don't even know. Brian Cates, do you have somebody you traded with a lot last year? Was it me?
Well, last year I traded with CJ. Actually, I got Mike Evans and Kittle from him for Debo last year, early in the year too, week 5, week 6, early.
So, Mike, we're both reality TV show fans. How important is it to have an alliance in this league?
Oh, huge. Well, it's funny. You guys are saying this. I almost wonder if you went and looked at the last 6 titles, if anybody who won didn't make a move. Like alliance, whatever. I think it's going to be hard in this league because of the level of competition to go wire to wire with the same roster. I just think it's very hard to do that.
I would make an argument that the last manager that went homegrown draft, week 1 to week 17 was probably Kevin Breen, just base track record. And
well, that's his strategy. I mean, he hasn't been relevant in 6 years. Maybe the strategy's like a little tired. I don't know.
It's a little dated, and that's the one that Lloyd's currently following. I mean,
Yeah, I feel like Larkin would be 100% homegrown. Also, we were talking about this over the text chain. 8 years, 8 straight new individual champions every single year.
That's cool.
Very hard to believe.
Such a cool stuff.
Of course, there's 10 people in the league. 10 minus 8 leaves 2. Those 2 are CJ Spates and Dan Larkin. I want to know from you guys, which do you think is more likely to win a Super Bowl title next year?
Wow.
Lloyd.
Dan Larkin.
Probably Lloyd. I think his team's younger. Lloyd's team's younger.
What a great, you got Jaden Daniels, Jamar Gibbs, Malik Neighbors versus Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, and who's like Dan's third young.
JSN.
Rice. What's the name?
Rashad Rice or
Rashad
JSN.
Rice.
Yeah. Jackson Smith and Ajigba. They both have good teams.
Yeah, that's a good argument. That's a good argument. I almost want to feel like CJ's supporting cast a little more consistent than Dan's, but that's a good one. That's a good question.
If you were gonna give Super Bowl champion odds, those really, really early odds, you'd say that those 2 are the top favorites, right?
They gotta be there. The 2 highest scoring teams this year. They just can't manage a lineup.
All right. So Mike, where would you consider yourself in the top?
I think I'm right with those guys. I think the thing that is different, 2010, when I won my last title, which is 15 years ago, I was one of the worst teams of all time in 2011 because my team was old. My team, I just won a title. My team is very young. I have Connor and Saquon, who are on the older side, but everybody else is in their early to mid 20s.
So a couple things, Mike. Number one, you need to address your quarterback situation because if you had Kyler from week 1 to week 17, you wouldn't be in the spot you're in. Okay,
I'll make a move again, Brian. I'll make a move
again. That's not that he can't be considered one of the guys. Second, you're going to get some shuffling going on. Higgins is a free agent. What happens in the Nakua Cup situation? If Cup's out and they get rid of him, does Nakua become something different because he gets more attention? There's going to be more shakeup on your roster, I think.
That's everybody, though.
Chuba, competitive backfield. James Conner's old.
Chuba doesn't have a competitive backfield.
You're not set up the way those 2 other guys are.
All right.
Agree to disagree.
So let's talk about the consolation round because the winner.
Wait, Case, hold on, Case. Put my big 3 against their big 3. I'm right there.
He loves his guys.
Puka, Saquon, T. Higgins, Chase Brown. Pick one of them. I don't care which one. How are they not in the same bucket as those guys?
Saquon is. I don't think you have the depth that they have.
But we said top 3. I'm not talking about depth.
Yeah. I'm talking about the depth of those 3. I think you got to drop off.
I'll take Saquon and Puka against anybody.
Yeah, Saquon's not going to do what he's doing this year again.
Yeah, Mike, can you do me a favor and not be content? Because that's what's going to happen. The same thing's going to happen as before. You'll be like, oh, wow, I got all these guys. They're all young. I don't have to do anything.
I already got I have all my picks, too, so I'm ready to go, baby. I have an early strategy for my keepers, too. I want to make 2 moves in the offseason. Yeah,
good segue, Mike. First round mock of the draft came out. I think of the first 20 players, I think like 17 are defense.
Ugh.
Yeah, in the NFL draft first mock, yeah.
Everything that I've seen on this class, I don't know anything about college football.
It's Shador Sanders, Cam Ward, and then the wide receiver from Arizona.
We'll get to Vito. We'll get to Vito to do the scouting. I think it's going to be all receivers again. I think this is just the new NFL.
He's busy now. There's a locker room full of 11-year-old boys. And he's
you want to talk consolation, Pete? Is that what you said?
Yeah, consolation round. So the untold story about the consolation round is the person that wins it usually makes a Super Bowl the next year, which held true with Spates last year. This year, Jeff Ennis blows it out. You look at his team; he's got Joe Burrow who might compete, and he's got McCaffrey coming back. Still has Kamara. Okay, so let's see. How do you feel about Jeff Ennis? We're not saying winning the Super Bowl. We're saying appearing in the Super Bowl. Jeff Ennis is a Super Bowl team.
He's old.
Really, he came close this year.
I like it.
Burrow. I can see he's going to compete in the playoffs, but he's going to have a fall off with Tyreek. He's going to have a fall off with Kamara. I'm not going to try. If I was him, I'd try to move McCaffrey personally. I don't know. If you're talking
Right,
about
so-
a big three or a big four, he's middle of the pack to me. I'd rather have
Right.
Casey's big three than his big three.
So
It's a good
Casey, if you like him and you like CJ and Lloyd, and you like and Clelly's saying he's coming back, you obviously must like yourself. There's only 4 spots.
I don't have 3. I'll tell you that. I don't have 3. I have 2.
Where do you rank your team among those top 5?
If you had to give my 3 are Jefferson, St. Brown, and then probably my next best player is either Mike Evans or George Kittle, which is a huge drop off from everybody else. Yeah, not good. I got some work to do to revamp the franchise.
Bring it back to its glory days of that 1 year.
Yeah, bring it back to the glory years of 2023, 2024.
Breen's again going to be the key offseason protagonist again. He has all these picks again. So if he gets,
He's got a lot of talent too. He's got a lot of young talent.
The problem is it's getting harder to predict these rookies. Like he picked Harrison and Adunze. They were the 3rd and 10th best rookie receivers.
The number 1 overall pick and the number 6th or 8th overall pick of the draft. Yeah.
Who do you think's making it, Pete? Way too early playoff predictions from Pete DeLuca. 2025 are.
I think Spates and Lloyd definitely. I think Jeff. I think when I looked at the little note there before we talked about it, I think Jeff will be in it. I don't think Christian. I think Casey made a big, strong a charge at the end there. I would probably go Casey. I also like DeVito too. I'm not even gonna lie. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy.
God.
But when you got Lamar Jackson, like even Breen with Josh Allen, like those guys, they can score. The big thing is I'm not. I should not be considered in this group, and I think that's we can all agree on that.
We can agree on that. I can agree on that.
I was trying to look up. Let's see. What am I trying to look up? I obviously am not going to find it. I'm trying to look up when this wave of Breen owning every first round pick is over.
I think this year coming up to the last one.
This is it? Okay, good.
I think so.
He's been on like 3 years of owning every pick. It hasn't paid off. He's got to try a new system at some point.
I think the 2026 trades are Spates and DeVita, and you're in there a little bit. I don't think as many picks have moved around in 26.
Well, that's good.
Despite my best effort, I couldn't give my 26th away, and I was trying to sell. I was giving it away.
I still don't think you proposed good trades to Lloyd, to be quite honest. To me, Breen's the sneaky team. I think Breen's the sneaky playoff team next year because he has Josh Allen. He has the key position that won't get folded, and then he got Collins is there. He's going to have Harrison that's going to be better. He has all these picks. I don't know.
He might have a hard time making those last couple of roster decisions with all those picks. Like that's going to be his challenge because he's got flyers on a lot of guys.
Yep.
Yeah.
How do you get keepers 8 through 10?
This is it for the Breen first round pick dominance next year. 2026, DeVita has 2. So we just got to get through one more year of Kevin Breen owning every single pick in the lottery.
Do you guys have any rule changes to propose? I have a rule change I want to propose.
I have a rule change I thought of a while ago, but I want to bring it up until the end of the year.
You don't want to pitch it on the pod?
I'll pitch it. I think we should bring back the bonuses. I like that. I think it was fun. Remember, like if they hit like 100 yards, we got a point bonus. If we hit like
we didn't have that.
No, and that was something that like we didn't all agree. We agreed to do it 1 year, and then we didn't agree to bring it back. And then I realized
I thought we've had it the whole time.
Me too.
All right, I realized it like halfway through the year, and I didn't want to piss everybody off. But I was like, all right, yeah, well.
There's so many times where it's like, oh, Kittle's got 6 for 98. I'm like, 2 more guys.
Case, me too. I thought that was a rule.
I was
okay. No, all right. I want to bring back the bonuses next year. I thought it was so much fun. All right, maybe we'll motion to bring that back permanently.
That's probably why a couple of pods ago we talked about you're like how many 200-point scores we had this year. I was like, oh, we had like 8. You're like 2. I'm like, it must have been from that year, which obviously I thought we were still doing, but it's from a couple of years ago we had the bonus.
All right, good call.
Yeah, I think it was 2 years ago we did it, right?
It's recent enough for me to think that we've scored 200 points on the regular.
It was a great rule. It was a great rule.
And I want to bring back kickers. This kickers.
Oh,
no, kickers are so stupid. It's getting worse and worse too. It's such a volatile position.
Can I tell you what I want to do?
Well, Mike, what are you going to do with your money? Your
Wait, no, let's talk about rule changes.
I always want my rules to be about competition or engagement. So either like I think the competition's wrong or I think people need to engage. I want to do one that is if you are last in a week, you pony up. We can do $5 or $10. Easy, we can go $5. Everyone in the league picks a money line or some sort of prop, and we make like 10 piece parlays. See if we can grab one to kick money at the end of the season. League parlays.
There's just so many steps.
That's a lot. That's a lot.
So many steps.
You start off on a decent proposal. It's like, hey, all right, like how do you prevent guys from like just completely tanking? And then you went into a 10 play parlay.
I can't even get you to show up for a podcast. You want me to find a 10 game parlay every single week?
You need one. You just need one leg. It's a good idea. I'll bring it up to the. You guys aren't fun. The league's not gonna do it. If you guys,
you're in charge of it. I'm not touching it.
Yeah, we'll talk about it tomorrow, Thursday, 9:00 on the pod.
All right. Speaking of money, because Mike's so anxious to hit a 10-game parlay with somebody else's money. Mike, what are you gonna do with your prize money?
Going to Disney World.
Are you really?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, we're going to Disney.
That's amazing.
In April.
Oh, nice.
Money goes right to it. You went
right to it.
That's amazing.
Right to it.
That's got to be the best I've ever heard.
It's not going to front the whole trip, but it fronts a decent amount.
Yeah, I bought a futon.
Oh,
yeah, I lost half of it.
What?
I think I paid off my Christmas credit card debt.
That's nice.
Did you just say you lost half of a futon?
Yeah, it's a divorce joke, Mike.
Oh.
I thought it broke because you power bombed your kid into it again.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, well, it was definitely power bombed on.
Pete, new hat?
Yeah, I got it for Christmas. You like it?
Last week, nice.
Yeah, I'm trying to break it in.
Congrats to me, guys.
Yep. Yeah, congratulations. What do you want to tell? What else you want to do?
I was happy for you.
Me too.
Me too. I'm glad you were for yourself.
Me too.
Yeah,
I was happy.
Did anyone else reach out to you and show a little class or
no? Directly, I think only one other person in the league reached out to me directly.
Who was the first person to reach out to you last night?
I only had one person reach out to me directly.
Oh,
who?
I was texting Jeff. Jeff is a little off because we were texting during the game. Only one person reached out to me off text. You guys don't count. We text a lot. You guys don't count. Dan Larkin.
I was going to say, Larkin called me last year with like 30 seconds left in the game, like right after the Jefferson made that .56 catch or whatever it was. I didn't answer the phone intentionally because I was like, dude, there's still like 30 seconds left in this game.
Class act, Dan Larkin.
Dan's on the ready. For a guy that doesn't stamp late, he likes to watch the championship match.
He does.
What is your opinion on a couple things? One, Kevin Breen leaving the text chain.
Do we know what happened?
I want to get your opinion on it. What happened?
Well, before we get any further on that, it screwed up a ton of stuff. It screwed up a bunch of stuff on my iPhone. Every time, like I have our group thing, Milford Fantasy pinned. And every time I would get a text, it would open up the one down, and I had to go get out of it and go back to the other one. It was a pain in the butt.
Me too.
All right, so why does the chain keep on getting renamed every time I go into it?
I don't know. It's not in for me. I'm with
did you fix it? I figured out how to fix it.
Yo, there's the oldest group of men in the entire world. 10 guys have no idea what's going on.
What's more funny, the fact that Kevin Breen left it, or for like 4 guys in this league, the unknown number left the group chat?
Is it confirmed that Breen like actively left the group chat?
Yeah, then Christian added him.
Christian kept on naming it Milford Fantasy like 10 times in a row. Like Christian and Darian has changed the group name to Milford Fantasy.
I want to make it clear. One time it said that I changed it back to nothing. I have not touched that name once. I don't care at all. Yeah.
Where is it right now? I haven't looked actually.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on, but there was some sort of like iPhone Droid, RMS, MMS thing. I don't even know.
Do you want me to buy DeVita a new phone?
I think we should use that, like one of those other apps, like
GroupMe, WhatsApp.
Yeah, WhatsApp. Why don't we use that?
GroupMe.
GroupMe.
It's the same idea. It basically gets more people on there. I have it with like our team and players and stuff.
It's not a bad idea.
I
But then I
mean,
got to open up that app every time I want to talk to
Yeah.
idiots.
we have 10 guys. It's fine. I did send a text out today, and I don't know if this is a new update. When I was texting them in, I got the blue for iPhone, I got the green for Droid. I got a couple guys that show up in red for the first time. But the text
that means you've been watching YouPorn.
the text went through. The text went through, so I don't know what that is.
Mm.
If you know what it is, listeners, let us know at Entering Milford.
International.
Yeah. Should we put it on a tweet, Pete?
It means you hacked, kid.
I don't know. It could be like an office line too, because there's to be like a bunch of college coaches too.
Mike, explain yourself last week. What happened?
I apologize for missing the pod. I'll get you offline.
You're not forgiven.
I'm not asking for forgiveness.
Okay.
All right. How does it feel to enter the 2 club? You feel pretty good? It's you.
I feel pretty good.
Yeah.
I feel pretty good. It was a due time that I won. I made the playoffs so many times, and I had a very different strategy this year from a roster building perspective.
Good
and
move.
I think I showed that it's important to be looking at the playoffs, the playoff matchups, and the rosters you want to put on the field. It's important.
Yeah, it only took you 26 years.
It only took me 26 years to figure that out.
So this is gonna be it. This is it. This is the end of season 4 for Entering Milford.
Hey, you bringing Legends series back?
Yeah, sure. I don't have anything.
This would be the perfect time to get Spates on there again.
I honestly thought about pulling a little Legend series out of the box there with Casey last week 1-on-1. I was thinking we could start throwing out some Legends questions, but I get tired.
I would just say, did Breen do a Legends last summer?
No, it's gonna take.
I was gonna say Breen and I have to be last. We're the last.
I haven't done one.
Yeah,
No,
Breen and I are the last 2 into the league. We can't be.
No, CJ and Andy did it, which were honestly 2 of the greatest Legends
Great
episodes
one.
of all time.
Great one.
You got to get Ennis on there. You got to get Ennis on there. He'd be good.
I can get it. But it's
Really
more of an
Christian.
intimate setting. It's off-season content.
Dude, Christian's texts on the league history, there's got to be something here that we can explore with all this stuff he has.
Yeah, I wrote to him.
Hey, where does he keep it? Because it comes in a bunch of different formats. It's a screenshot sometimes, and he type it into Word and then screenshot it.
He is the king of taking a picture of a screen. He really gets the glare perfect. I've never seen. He's got no tabs, just his picture of his screen.
Consolation Christian. Mustard Boy is dead. It's Consolation Christian from now on.
Dude, wherever he gets the stats, I was like, yo, can you join? I am exhausted. I don't feel like doing any of this stuff anymore.
Why don't we have a league like Google Doc that we could just
He won't share it.
have him on?
He won't share it.
Selfish.
No, maybe we can make a website.
All right, that's it. We leaving? Guys, season's over. Congrats to me. Congrats to us. Another great season. 120th episode comes back next year.
Yeah, season. Are we going to come back for season 5 of Entering Milford?
Does DeVito come back?
I think I might be tapped.
You just need some time away.
Yeah, you need an off season.
You need an off season.
You need a Cabo trip.
It's tough coming in last 2 years in a row.
And not having a pick. And not having a pick on the back
No
end of it.
picks. I have nothing to do but run a podcast.
You're actually the perfect man for the job.
I know. All right.
Pete, take us home. Sign us off, Pete.
That's it. Congratulations, Mike. Welcome to the Champions Club. Have fun in Disney. Do something inappropriate to one of the princesses for me.
Goodbye.
This takes forever to close. What do you want me to do?